Hi guys, I'm going to be going through our vocabulary for this week. This is lesson 25, the Mount Everest story. The first word is approached. Climbers approached this mountain from the west. Slowly, they got nearer to it. The word approached means you came near. You're walking toward it. You're going towards something, is the meaning of the word approach. So approached would be the past tense. The next word is section. The top section or part of this mountain is the steepest. The word section is simply a part of something, a section. I sat in the front section, or I ate a section of the pie, or a section of cake. So it's a part. Next one definitely goes along with this selection. Avalanches, plural, meaning more than one. When avalanches occur, the powerful sliding snow can knock trees down. So you can see in the picture that snow that just kind of takes off in a powerful way and comes down the side of a mountain. An avalanche occurs when large amounts of snow or rocks slide down a mountain. They can be very, very dangerous. If you're a skier or a hiker out on a mountain, when an avalanche happens, you could get buried underneath all of that snow. So a dangerous situation. If you are a skier on big mountains like that, you would need to know some emergency techniques, I think, in case an avalanche were to happen. Next word, increases. When storms blow in, the danger to climbers increases or becomes greater. So increases means becomes greater, larger, gets bigger. It can be a math word. It increases. Equipment. Mountain climbers check their supplies or equipment before a climb. You certainly would want the right equipment if you are choosing to be a mountain climber. Equipment. The things that are needed for a particular activity or purpose are called equipment. You could talk about equipment that you need to play a sport, or equipment that you need to do a certain kind of job. So different kinds of equipment are needed to do different kinds of things. You see down here on this chart, even if you're painting, maybe you need a hose. Would you need a hose, shovel, or rake? Oh, it looks like we need to match these. A hose, shovel, and rake would be some things that we might need to do some gardening, perhaps. We would use a tent, backpack, and lantern to go camping. Pucks, sticks, and masks would be equipment used to play hockey. Paintbrushes, ladder, and tarp would be painting materials. Snow pants, gloves, and sled would be equipment for sledding. Tanks. Tanks that hold oxygen help climbers breathe in the high, thin air. There you can see that green tank. It's an oxygen tank to help supply extra oxygen, because when you get into those high altitudes and the air is thin, we could get very, very sick or worse. Tanks are containers that hold liquids or gases. So you could have an oxygen tank. We have tanks for our gas on our cars. We have big propane tanks outside of our houses to come inside that get piped inside to run our furnaces and stoves. So tanks are used for different kinds of things. You might have a water tank. Slopes, gentle slopes near the bottom of the mountain are easiest to climb. Those are the slopes I like. I don't like the steep slopes. Slopes are stretches of ground that slant upward or downward. Altitude, the altitude or height of Granite Peak in Montana is 12,799 feet high. Altitude is how tall or high, how far above sea level that something is. So this is a very, very tall mountain out in Montana. Height measured from the Earth's surface is called altitude. When I have traveled out west into the Rocky Mountains, which would be Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, that higher altitude takes a while to adjust to. When we've gone out there the first day or so, we kind of get headaches and we get out of breath really easy because we're just not used to that high altitude. And then within a couple days, we feel a little better, and then it's a little easier to be out hiking and moving around in the mountains. Although you still get out of breath faster than we would back in Wisconsin, that's for sure. The next word is the word succeed. Everyone's goal is to reach the summit. If climbers plan well, they will succeed. So you see the climber there at the top of the mountain. That climber has reached the summit. The summit is... Oh, here I start talking about summit. The summit is the top of the mountain. The vocabulary word is succeed. To succeed is to manage to do what you tried to do. So that climber succeeded in reaching the top of the mountain. And the question here, what are some things you succeed at? What makes you feel the proudest? And I know all of you are so different that you have different things. This would be a good question for you to write about. I'm going to think about that one for you guys this week. Last vocabulary word this week is halt. Rhymes with salt. So if you can spell salt, you can spell halt. Climbers come to a halt when it gets dark. They stop for the night. To halt means to come or bring to a stop. So simply stopping. Why might a game you are playing or watching need to come to a temporary halt? Well, could be if someone gets hurt. I've seen games get halted, or time runs out, or a ref needs to check something out, or a play is over, something, different reasons that a game might come to a halt. So those are your 10 vocabulary words this week, and we'll see those in our selections, our stories, our work. So good words to know. Thanks.